I'm often asked by my students, does it make a difference how I start my backswing? And the answer is, yeah, it makes a big difference. Which muscles you use, and therefore how connected you are and how consistent you are. There's a tendency we all have, since the hands are the only thing attached to the club, is to start the club away with our hands. Well, you can see how that handle gets out here on this side of our body and disconnects. It should stay right there connected to that hip joint, that left pivot. And we should start our swing this way. So let's think about the chain of connection. The closest thing to this club head is your hands, then your arms, shoulder, torso, hips, legs, and finally your feet. So if we start back with our hands, everything else is getting left behind. We're immediately disconnected, and now we have to find a way to fix that on the way down to get our timing right, to get consistent. If, on the other hand, we start with the furthest thing in that connection chain away from the club head, that would be your left foot, and by rolling across that ankle, see how the handle stays connected to the pivot, the arms and the elbows stay connected to the pivot. This is what we call a one-piece takeaway, or a connected motion. When we do that, we can get our left side turned behind the golf ball early, and when we go back there, see that handle still connected to the pivot even though it's going wide. When I come back down, it can reconnect to that pivot, and as it does, the club face squares, my contact is solid, and I get more consistent. So if you'll always start back with everything together, starting with your foot, hips, hands, everything working together, now we're connected back here, our arms are still in front of our chest, we can return that handle to that pivot, square the face, and deliver and go through much more consistently. Let's see how that looks when we're going down the target line. If you start back with your hands first, see how that club head came inside off the target line and the handle's pointing out here to the right of the target? If we come back where we're all in one piece, look how that club stays on the target line. Arms are connected, handle still pointed at the pivot. Elbows are nice and level so we can hold that log or balance those drinks. Everything is one piece. See, now my arms are still in front of me, whereas if I take my hands first, now my arms are getting behind me over here. I'm in trouble. I can't get reconnected back to that pivot. One piece away, stays on the path. The handle returns back to that pivot, squares the face, gets the club back on the path, and goes toward the target. So if you can practice with one of these rods, put it against your pivot, and get the feel of that one-piece takeaway, you'll play much more consistent golf, and you'll hit the ball a lot straighter by squaring the face when you come back into impact. Golfstruck. Better golf right now.